Branding meets psychology. Trust, identity, desire, status, algorithms. This is the architecture of how labels changed consumer behavior. Walk into a supermarket and something extraordinary happens. Thousands of products, thousands of choices, thousands of strangers. Yet somehow, you trust them. You've never met the farmer, you've never met the factory worker, you've never met the chemist. And yet, you'll feed these products to your children. This level of trust would have seemed insane for most of human history. Walk into a supermarket and notice who's there. Mother picking baby formula, young man choosing toothpaste, old couple selecting medicine. Everyone is trusting strangers. Because for thousands of years, trust looked very different. Civilization faced a problem, and tiny pieces of paper solved it. Labels, simple, ordinary, invisible, and one of the most powerful psychological technologies humans ever created. We use them every day without a second thought. Because labels don't merely describe products, they shape decisions. Coca-Cola, Colgate, Kellogg's, Nike, Apple, Amazon packages. These are the symbols of modern trust. And eventually, they would shape civilization itself. Every cart moving through the aisle is a vote of confidence in a global system. Before labels, trust was personal. And that changed everything for the way we live and consume. For most of history, people bought from people, not brands, not corporations, people. Trust was local, personal, human. Reputation traveled by word of mouth, not logos. People trusted faces, not packaging. Trust was local, personal, human, like a customer at a Roman butcher, checking the meat and knowing the man who cut it. Because communities were small, strangers were rare. Reputation traveled by word of mouth, from the village tailor to the local blacksmith. People trusted faces, not packaging. Real human connection was the basis of every single transaction. Trust was earned over generations. Cities became larger, supply chains became longer, the small village where everyone knew everyone was vanishing into the mist of history. And suddenly, people faced a terrifying problem. How do you trust someone you'll never meet? Civilization itself needed an answer as thousands of strangers crowded the streets of 1880. And eventually, companies discovered something extraordinary. If strangers couldn't know the producer, they could know the symbol. Factory workers began stamping labels on wooden crates to guarantee quality. The brand was born. A simple mark on a flour sack replaced a lifetime of personal reputation. Trust became scalable for the first year. Industrialization created abundance, but abundance created uncertainty. When products became anonymous, trust became fragile. Which flour came from honest people? Which one came from cheats? Nobody knew. Uncertainty is expensive. When products became anonymous, trust became fragile. A warehouse full of identical barrels created a massive problem for the honest producer. In 1876, one simple symbol entered history, a red triangle. It became Britain's first registered trademark. People no longer needed to know the brewer. They only needed to recognize the symbol. A red triangle on a barrel meant quality. Soon, other companies discovered the same secret. Consistency creates trust. Identical labels meant predictable experiences, and predictable experiences create confidence. Families weren't buying metal cans, they were buying certainty. Then Coca-Cola understood something even deeper. Families weren't buying metal cans, they were buying certainty. A mother preparing soup knew exactly what was inside every single time. Then Coca-Cola understood something even deeper. Consistency is the foundation of the brand. Thousands of identical bottles, one after another. Brands began doing something remarkable. They traveled farther than their creators. Millions of strangers sharing the same experience. Brands began doing something remarkable. They traveled farther than their creators. 1900s, America was filled with silent salesmen on every wall. Trademark laws emerged to protect something invisible, reputation. Because reputation had become property. Companies discovered a strange truth: products can be copied, trust cannot. And human psychology made brands even more powerful, because the brain hates uncertainty. Faced with uncertainty, humans prefer the familiar. And human psychology made brands even more powerful, because the brain hates uncertainty. Symbol recognition happens in milliseconds. Faced with uncertainty, humans prefer the familiar. When you choose your cereal, you're not just picking breakfast. You're resolving a psychological conflict. Brands are reputations that travel farther than people. And once companies discovered that, they stopped selling products and started selling meaning. Because labels were about to evolve into something much bigger, packaging became a salesman, and consumers would never shop the same way again. Walk into a supermarket and thousands of products begin competing for your attention. Before you read a single word, your brain has already begun making judgments. Red feels energetic, exciting, appetizing. That's why food brands wear red. Blue signals safety, reliability, trust. Green whispers nature, purity, health. Gold suggests prestige, scarcity, luxury. Identical products, different packaging, different expectations. And expectations change experience, because taste doesn't happen only on the tongue. It happens inside the mind. That's why some of the world's most famous food brands wear red. It feels energetic, exciting, appetizing. It's designed to trigger a response. Blue signals something different: safety, reliability, trust. It's why banks and technology giants choose it for their professional identity. Green whispers another message: nature, purity, health. It's the visual language of the organic revolution and wellness. Eventually, companies discovered that packaging itself could become an experience. Anticipation became part of the product. Unboxing became theater. Consumers often taste stories before they taste products. Packaging replaced the conversation once held with the merchant. Every package is trying to answer the same question: why me? Billions of silent salesmen working 24 hours a day. And expectations change experience. Because taste doesn't happen only on the tongue. It happens inside the mind, shaped by the label. Supermarkets feel ordinary, but they're anything but ordinary. For centuries, shopping was simple. You asked, someone served, you left. Then self-service changed everything. Consumers gained freedom, and retailers gained something even more valuable: time. The shopping cart wasn't just convenience, it quietly increased how much people bought. Large containers encourage large purchases, because empty space feels like opportunity. Notice what greets you first: freshness, healthy, abundant. The entrance creates an emotional message that sets the tone for the entire trip. And then comes something strange. The essentials are rarely near the entrance: milk, eggs, bread. Products people need most, often placed far away to force you to walk. Those displays at the ends of aisles? They're not accidents, they're premium real estate. What people see at eye level, they buy. Music changes pace, lighting changes mood, temperature changes comfort. Everything works together: invisible, quiet, deliberate. Shopping is neurological. For most of history, people ate food, not information. Food was simple, people trusted their instincts, but industrialization changed something. Food became invisible, ingredients became harder to recognize, and trust became harder to maintain. So consumers demanded answers: what's inside? And eventually, governments demanded answers too. Labels weren't just about marketing anymore, they became public health. Calories, sugar, fat, protein. Tiny numbers began influencing billions of meals. The same food, different information, different decisions, even dates became signals, because freshness itself became standardized. Then labels evolved again. They began selling values. Consumers weren't simply buying products, they were buying beliefs: organic, non-GMO, fair trade, Rainforest Alliance. A small symbol could connect a shopper in London to a farmer thousands of miles away. Other labels spoke to identity: faith, tradition, community. Labels transformed anxiety into trust. Numbers became warnings. And information itself became part of the product: low fat, high protein, sugar-free, gluten-free, vegan, organic. Soon labels weren't merely describing food, they were describing lifestyles. People stopped asking, what tastes good? And increasingly asked, what aligns with who I am? Tiny symbols had begun shaping the diets of entire civilizations. Labels teach behavior, and behavior becomes culture. But labels don't only influence health. Sometimes they influence status, because humans don't merely consume utility, they consume meaning. Sometimes labels matter more than products. And nowhere is that more visible than in luxury. Luxury labels sell status. In our next session, we tear down the architecture of desire. Subscribe to LBC to join the craft. Subscribe to Learning BizCraft for more strategic teardowns. Join the craft and see the hidden operating systems of civilization.